Hey, what's good, people? This guy Little right here. We about to watch all 47 shocking allegations against P. Diddy. You already know he got some crazy stuff going on with him. Now, me, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing about him being a freak since, I don't know, probably since I was like a child. Like, I used to watch all these conspiracy videos about P. Diddy, about the industry, all the music people and all that type of stuff, about Jay-Z. And, you know, like, all of them was talking to Aaliyah at one point when she was a child. Nah, this is all allegations. This is all allegations. But we all know, like, I think it was Ja Rule, it was P. Diddy, it was Jay-Z, it was I think it was like, oh yeah, R. Kelly. And it might have been one more person. I might be wrong. But they all had some type of relationship with Aaliyah, either when she was younger, like 16, 17, probably, 18, 19. I mean, that's legal. But still, at that point, you gotta think all these niggas was at least about 30 when they was even making music around that time. Jay-Z was old as hell. He 50 right now, so you can only imagine him back in the 30s. I mean, not in 30, but in the 2000s, and he was 30 around that time talking to a fresh 18-year-old. She been famous since she was 16, 17. I mean, she been knowing. I mean, Jay-Z even knew Beyonce. Beyonce been in the industry since she was a child too. Think about that. I mean, just think about it. But I mean, that's a conversation for like another day. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist type person. But let's go ahead and watch this video right here and go ahead and listen to all the allegations P. Diddy got.
P. Diddy behind bars and indicted on federal sex trafficking and racketeering allegations. But those aren't the only accusations Diddy's facing. In fact, there are dozens of allegations dating as far back as the 90s. We're breaking down all 47 shocking allegations against P. Diddy and what all this could mean for the future of his case. I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime News. Sean Diddy Combs has now been behind bars for 1 week after he was indicted by a federal grand jury on some pretty serious charges. And with this major development in the case comes a renewed interest in the many allegations against the now disgraced rapper. So let's start with the federal indictment. That lists nearly 20 allegations against Diddy in support of the charges he faces: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. From the jump on page 1, prosecutors come out swinging, alleging Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The indictment goes on to allege Diddy showed a pattern of abuse, mostly against women, that included verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, including the use of extensive grooming tactics. So let's break these down a bit. Of the physical abuse, Diddy is accused of throwing, punching, kicking, and dragging some of his victims. We saw proof of that this spring when CNN released the infamous hotel video showing Diddy brutally assault his then-girlfriend Cassie in a hotel hallway. That incident isn't blatantly referenced in the
I don't know if y'all seen that video, but that video was crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. People said that she was stealing like $200,000-$300,000 and she was trying to run away with it. But you know, a lot of people, they be trying to stick up for people who be really it's just normal for people who, you know what I'm saying, just be abusing people. And then when somebody's in power and got a lot of money, and then they used to look up to somebody like P. Diddy, any type of story, they'll try to make up a story, try to defend him. So I mean, you really got to take it on face value, unless she just comes out and be like, yeah, I did try to steal the money. But then at that point, I don't know if slamming somebody and doing all that type of stuff is even justified at that point. But me, on the other hand, hey, I know what, like, some of y'all guys right now, y'all probably watching the video like, man, my girl tried to steal $200,000-$300,000 from me, you know, tell me what I might do. And I'm the same damn way. I'm the same way, but I don't think, if you already married to somebody who was like a millionaire, I don't know if you were probably like a billionaire at that point or something like that. I don't see the reason. It has to be more of a story to it than you just stealing $200,000-$300,000. It got to be like he already told her, hey, you can have this money, you can have $200,000-$300,000, and then she won't do what he wanted her to, and then he was like, fuck, I'm gonna take that shit back, and then she was just trying to leave type shit. So it could have been something like that, but I don't think she would just steal $200,000-$300,000 just for no damn reason.
indictment, and neither are any names. So we'll get to the specifics on that when we take a look at the civil suits against Diddy. But the indictment does allege that Diddy hid his victims for days at a time to recover from the injuries he inflicted without being publicly observed. Federal prosecutors allege Diddy intimidated these victims into his orbit and then forced them to participate in something he called freak-offs. These freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. So during these sessions, Diddy would force victims to use drugs, have sex with prostitutes, and be recorded doing all this, sometimes without their knowledge. Diddy also allegedly forced victims to carry illegal firearms, often through coercion and the assistance of his associates working for the Combs enterprise. Not only would these associates help suppress the victims, but they also arranged the freak-offs by booking hotel rooms and stocking the rooms with required freak-off necessities like baby oil or personal lubricant. These associates would also procure sex workers and IVs that were given to both Combs and the victims after these freak-off sessions to help them recover from the physical exertion and drug use. As part of all this, Diddy and his associates transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Diddy is also accused of transporting survivor Jane Doe across state lines when he flew her from Michigan to New York in 2003. Jane Doe filed civil suit against Diddy in fall 2023, alleging that 20 years prior, he raped her when she was only 17. According to Jane Doe's suit, she met one of Diddy's associates in Michigan and was flown on Diddy's private jet to his studio in New York. Jane Doe also provided pictures of her with Diddy in the studio, bolstering her accusations. Once there, Diddy allegedly drugged Jane Doe and forced her to drink alcohol. After that, he allegedly raped her before sending her back to the Midwest. It's a similar story from Liza Gardner, who also...
Now, their stories, okay, like this, right? This is the thing, though, right? Because I've been watching sort of like some videos on P. Diddy and stuff about the, you know what I'm saying, stuff about the lawsuit and stuff like that. I've been seeing some girls, I seen Academic was talking about it. He was like, he was at a party, this girl was at a party that he was talking to with P. Diddy. And she was like, oh, I've been there, and I thought about suing him just to try to get a little bit of amount of money from him. I just want like $3,000. Or like a dude sued P. Diddy for $100 million, and because he P. Diddy didn't respond in a timely manner, he won the lawsuit. Or it could be like other situations where people be suing, like I think it was I think 50 Cent baby mama. I don't think she's suing, but it was some other woman that was suing P. Diddy, and she been with him since like for 3 years or something like that. So it seemed like a lot of people just trying to get money out of him, in which he's already a freaky dude. You already got certain stuff about you, and everybody already know, hey, don't go to a P. Diddy party. And when P. Diddy want a party, say no. If it's already stuff about this type of stuff, then you shouldn't be surprised that 50 people trying to sue you and stuff like that. You shouldn't be surprised about it. However, with this stuff right here, like she's 17 and all that type of stuff, I mean, regardless, the federal the federal age of consent is 18. So even if you wanted to make a case and say like, oh, it was consensual and all that type of stuff, you fighting against the feds, not the state. So it's in Michigan, I think it's 16. But if you want to, well, I mean, if you're going to have her across state, then it's going to be fair regardless. But basically, if it was a state case, the age of consent is 16, then he could fight that case and be like, oh, she actually consented to it, whatever. So, but the problem is, though, it's just that with you being 17 and it just being 20 years later, and now you seeing Cassie win the case, it's just like, I'm not here defending P. Diddy. I'm more like, girl, get your money. But then at the same time, I'm more for like, I love when women, like when shit just go wrong within either that year or something like that, you either go and you either go get an R-word kit and then you go get your money. That's what I love to see. I don't love to see it 20 years later when you hopping on a train and not everybody doing the shit. I don't like that. I like when women take they, you know what I'm saying, right then and there. take advantage of that situation right then and there. That's what I like to see. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me though.
Filed civil suit last fall. She alleges Diddy also raped her in New York, but way back in 1990. Gardner's lawsuit alleges she and a friend met Diddy at a party.
See, 1990 is freaking crazy, and it's 2024. That's just like me being 50 years old and she being 50 years old, and then she gonna sue me for something back when we was 20. That sounds crazy as hell. It sounds crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me though.
And then at an after party, he gave her alcohol. He then allegedly raped her before another man also raped her. During all this, both men allegedly also raped Gardner's friend. A couple days later, Combs came to the home where Liza Gardner and her friend were staying. He was irate and began assaulting and choking Liza Gardner to the point that she passed out. That brings us to the next allegation that has stark similarities to Liza Gardner's. Joy Dickerson Neal alleges Diddy raped her in 1991, also in New York. Echoing what prosecutors would write in a federal indictment against Diddy, Dickerson Neal alleges Diddy recorded this sexual assault. Her lawsuit also argues that she's the victim of revenge porn, as Diddy showed this recording to multiple people without her consent. All three of these civil lawsuits were filed last November under the New York Survivors Act. And so too was a bombshell civil suit filed by Cassandra Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who's also known as the singer Cassie. It was with Cassie's lawsuit that we first heard in-depth accusations about Diddy's alleged illegal activity. To start, there's the gun allegation that on at least 2 occasions, Diddy demanded Cassie hold his gun in her purse. The lawsuit goes on to state, quote, "There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous." Beyond the gun allegations, Cassie put forth some other major accusations in her 35-page lawsuit. She says Diddy beat her, sometimes so severely that she had to hide out in hotels for days at a time, waiting for the bruises to heal. Cassie also alleged Diddy raped her and forced her to have sex with prostitutes, and even recorded this. Then there's the allegation that Diddy got jealous when Cassie began flirting with rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. Cassie says that in 2012, Diddy told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. The allegations brought forth in Cassie's lawsuit were shocking, and so too were the accusations brought months later in yet another civil suit filed by Rodney.
Okay, I'm not here to defend Diddy, but it sounds like some of this stuff sound like I love when people get their justice, but I don't like it when it sounds crazy. I'm sorry, but like if I have a victim, I have a girlfriend, and I'm beating her up, it's no way in the world I'm going to be putting my gun inside of her purse. That don't even make sense. Now, the reason why either gangsters, thugs, drug dealers, or anybody like that putting their guns inside the purse is because they can't have a gun. And first, when cops go check somebody, they don't check a woman's purse. They're going to go check the guy first. They're going to probably pat her down, but they probably not going to check her purse. Depends on what situation. You inside a car? Okay. But you going somewhere, probably person that's a girl, no, we're not gonna do that. So that's the reason why you put the gun in the purse, not to reinforce that you are under my control, under my authority. If I'm beating somebody up, why would I put a gun inside a person who's the victim? It doesn't, I don't know, that don't make sense. But I mean, this is just sort of like hood logic type stuff like that. Every dude that got like, you got a charge, you got something like that, you know to put the gun on your girl, not on you. It's just, I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Also known as the producer Lil Rod. He began working with Diddy in 2022 on the Love album, and soon, he alleges, the abuse began. Lil Rod accuses Diddy of sexual assault, writing he was, quote, "the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs." He also alleges Diddy and his team were grooming Lil Rod to engage in gay sex. Lil Rod further alleges that Diddy forced him to have sex with prostitutes and even drugged Lil Rod to get him to comply. On top of these sexual assault allegations, Lil Rod's lawsuit also alleges that Diddy ran a gun and drug trafficking scheme. He says there are hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs his staff and his guests engaging in some serious illegal activity because Diddy apparently forced Lil Rod to constantly record him. The allegations continue, saying that Diddy covered up multiple shootings. To start, there's the New York nightclub shooting in 1999. Lil Rod alleges Diddy required his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez to transport his illegal firearm into the NYC nightclub. The court docs also allege Diddy forced his then-artist Shine to assume responsibility for the shooting of several individuals. Lil Rod's civil suit points to another alleged cover-up too, this time for a shooting outside Diddy's Chalice Studios on September 12th, 2020.
And if y'all know about the Jennifer situation, guess what? P. Diddy had the gun inside Jennifer's purse. It's like, he ain't even gotta be famous. He ain't even gotta be rich to do that. Most people do. I ain't never had no charge before. But most dudes who, like, you get a gun in your girl name. And plus, when the cops come, they pull you over. Guess what you say? Hey, man, that ain't my gun. That's my girl gun. She left it inside the car. I ain't never touched it. I ain't never do nothing. And then the cops just let you go. They might probably take the gun and tell her to come get it. But they gonna let it go. Like, man, I don't know. That's just what it is. But it ain't on no reinforcing no, hey, girl, I got you up under my control. Like, but you gonna put the gun inside your purse. Like, that don't even make sense.
According to court docs, Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend referred to as G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod heard multiple gunshots ring out, and then he found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. After that, Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil suit involves his other son, Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and all this was facilitated by Diddy. That suit was filed in April, and in May, former model Crystal McKinney filed suit against Diddy too, alleging he drugged and sexually assaulted her in his New York studio back in 2003. Diddy's former bad boy artists have spoken out too, including members of Danity Kane, the girl group that Diddy helped form on MTV's Making the Band 3. Singer Aubrey O'Day alleges Diddy underpaid members of the band and later offered her the publishing rights to her songs if she signed an NDA. And there was a catch to that.
And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs Music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
Just this month, Aubrey O'Day's Danity Kane bandmate Dawn Richard filed suit against Diddy. She alleged Diddy verbally and sexually abused her, all with the intentional infliction of emotional distress. There are so many layers to this story, dozens of allegations, civil suits, and criminal charges. And all this while Diddy sits behind bars in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. But let's
see, this is the thing with Diddy, right? Just like this, Academics, he was getting sued by a girl, and she had sex with two dudes. She came to his house, had sex with two dudes, and said that she was R-worded. Now, the cops went to his house, raided his house, took all the security cameras. He gave it to him willingly. They say, if you need extra information, I'll give it to you. And guess what? The cops didn't charge him. But this is the thing, though, right? Civil case and criminal case is two different things. He can lose in a civil case, but in the criminal case, he win. The criminal case, he won. Cops seen it. Oh, she willingly did this. She willingly had sex with two dudes. She had sex with two random dudes at his house. But she was supposed to come here to have sex with Academics, but she had sex with the two dudes. Girls be freaky like that. Girls, like, don't think that these girls don't be freaks and don't be wanting all this type of stuff. That's a different story. Now, I'm tying this back into Diddy. Now, with civil cases, he can lose the civil case. He can lose the civil case and pay her $500,000, $1 million, whatever the settlement is. It sounds crazy though, right? I ain't think it was that. I ain't think it was either until he was talking about it, and I was like, damn, like, how can you win a criminal case and say they didn't R-word her, they didn't, you know what I'm saying, he didn't defame her and all that type of stuff. You did it willingly. But in a civil case that he's fighting, he can still lose that. That is crazy. Now, I tie this back into Diddy. If Diddy been fighting allegations after allegation after allegation after allegation, and if you win one, you win the second one, you win the third one, you win the fourth one, what makes you not want to chill out? like what? Like if I was Diddy and I had all them cases, and I know I was doing this stuff to women, even if they was doing it willingly and I had it on camera to prove that they was doing it willingly, but they still want to go and try to sue me, and even though I'm winning the cases, these girls don't have $100,000 to pay the lawyer after I done paid the lawyer. Now I won the case, $100,000 paid to my lawyer. Now she got to pay the $100,000. I'm winning lawsuits, or I'm settling the lawsuits a lot, but then at the same time I keep getting them. Why in the world would you keep doing this stuff? Like, at a point, you gotta have a girlfriend and chill out on your freak stuff. No more threesomes, no more freak offs, no more baby oil. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just me though, cause after a while I'll be like, man, you know what? I keep getting lawsuits, even though I'm winning them or I'm settling. Like, dang, I can't keep doing this. I'm not about to keep paying the lawyer $100,000. These girls ain't got $100,000 to even pay me back after I win the case. So it's just like, damn, like, all right, forget it. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to give me a wife. I'm going to give me a girlfriend. And I'm not going to do no more freak offs. I'm not going to make them have sex with 2 other people. I'm not going to make them have sex with strippers. I'm not going to make them have sex with male sex workers. Like, it didn't click in his mind. None. He just kept going. And then, he had to keep going because they found thousand bottles of damn baby oil. Not KY jelly. I ain't know people had sex with baby oil. That's how you know I ain't a freak. I ain't know people put baby oil on when they had sex. That sound like some 90s type stuff. Baby oil, that sound like some 90s type stuff. But man, look, man, if y'all like this video right here, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Give me y'all opinions and stuff like that. And we gonna keep going with these videos, man. Hey, if you like this video right here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram at KM.Little with 2 E's. Also, I have a Patreon, and I also have a private community where I talk to y'all 2-3 hours every single day. It's in the link below, also with the Discord. So join the Discord.